It's now 6:30, June 24th, 2025. This calling to order the regularly scheduled meeting of the Planning and Zoning Commission of the City of Kyle, Texas. Could we have a roll call?
Here. Present.
Here.
Here. Here.
We have a quorum. Approval of the minutes.
I make a motion to approve the minutes of the Planning and Zoning Commission from June 10th, 2025.
I'll second.
That
You
will
got
be
it.
a second, seconded by George Califat. So minutes are approved on the vote. How many we have?
Aye.
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 Aye. All have voted in favor of the minutes approval. Number 3, citizen comment period with Planning and Zoning Commission. Citizen comment period. Planning and Zoning Commission welcomes comments from citizens early in the agenda of regular meetings. Speakers are provided with an opportunity to speak during this time on any agenda item or any other matter concerning city business, and they must observe the 3-minute time limit. Do we have anyone coming forward for comments? Citizen comments period is closed. Number 2, staff reports and presentations. Hold a public hearing to receive a comment for the City of Kyle 2025 Annual Action Plan as a part of the city's 5-year consolidated plan for the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, HUD, Community Development Block Grant, CDBG program. Ms. Sharp.
All right, good evening, Kayla Sharp, Senior Planner. So this is probably a little bit of a different item than you're used to. We're just taking the opportunity of an already existing open meeting to hold a public hearing for the Community Development Block Grant Program. The city is working on creating their annual action plan for the next fiscal year. And as part of that, we're required to have 2 public hearings. So we'll just do, I guess it helps if I turn that on. Maybe. Just do a quick overview. So the City of Kyle is a entitlement city with the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, and we receive funds annually through the Community Development Block Grant Program. This is the amount that we get each year is determined by a statutory formula, and then we get to develop our own programs and funding priorities that are eligible within that program. So, like I said, we're required to create an annual action plan every year that will outline how CDBG funds are used within the community. We have to consult citizens, community organizations, stakeholders, things like that. And the input we receive from these public hearings help us develop our annual action plan. So for the next fiscal year, we're looking at getting just over $277,000 through this grant program. This can be used for things such as sidewalks and trails, road construction, street light improvements, water and sewer lines, parks and playgrounds, senior centers, library improvements, recreation centers, things like that. The one caveat being that at least 70% of the funds have to benefit low to moderate income residents. So within those census blocks, a majority of those residents have to be low to moderate income. So we're looking for public comment from citizens, stakeholders. The commission is more than welcome to make comments as well, and just looking to see what people have to say about what we should use these funds for next year.
So the public hearing is now open.
I think this is our second year. Do I need to introduce myself? And yes, my name is Ellen Ermis. I'm a resident of Kyle. I'm a board member at the Kyle Area Senior Zone, and I'm chair of the Parks and Rec Advisory Board. And I have some experience with block grants. I think this is our second year to receive that. Once you hit a population of 50,000, then you become eligible Most cities that I know of open it up a little bit more to the nonprofits and accept applications for funding from them. And I would hope that perhaps in the future that we might do that. I know Kyle has exploded, and we have these real infrastructure things that have to be funded. But have those priorities been set yet? Oh, it's just comment, right? I shouldn't really be asking questions. Okay, well, perhaps that will be clear, and maybe you will announce some kind of a timeline of when these decisions will be made if they have not been already. Fair enough? Thank you. Thank you for serving.
Thank you. Anyone else? Public comments for the hearing? Seeing as there are no further comments for the public hearing is closed.
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda of a replat of Lot 57, Block YY, Phase 6A of the Crosswinds subdivision.
Have a second.
I'll second.
Have a second. Motion made by Mr. Serrato, Commissioner Serrato. Okay, so let's have a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Carries unanimously. Consider impossible action. Number 4, consider approval of a request to rezone approximately 5.01 acres from A, agriculture to W, warehouse for property located at 340 County Road 158, Hayes County, Texas, Z 25-0135. Item presenter.
All right, good evening, Kayla Sharp, Senior Planner. So we have a zoning case for you tonight. This one will be a little bit different than some of the ones you've seen in the past in that this one is a city-initiated rezoning, and I'll kind of explain why as I go through the presentation. So this is just over 5 acres on County Road 158. This is a city-initiated rezoning to complete a 2007 zoning application that was never completed. The property was partially developed in 2008, as you can kind of see on the map. I know it's kind of small, but that kind of plan right side of the property was developed in accordance with the warehouse zoning. So a little bit of history on the property. The property was platted in 2002 when it was in the city's extraterritorial jurisdiction, and the property owner applied and paid for zoning, annexation, and site development in 2007. The site plan was approved by the Planning and Zoning Commission back when all site plans came to the commission for approval, and then the annexation was also completed in February of 2008. So based on city records and records provided by the property owner, there's evidence that the zoning application was submitted and paid for, but was never processed. Zoning, therefore, was never assigned, and the zoning has remained agriculture ever since the property was annexed. So really the kind of intent behind this rezoning is to kind of clean up that application that was never formally processed. So the adjacent properties are primarily zoned warehouse and agriculture, and then there is a subdivision across County Road 158 that is zoned for single-family residential. This is in the regional commercial land use district per our future land use plan, and that does allow for some warehouse building typologies and things like that. So it does align with our comprehensive plan as well. The current use of the property is a commercial roofing and sheet metal contracting company. The intent is for this use to continue, and the company wants to be able to expand and build out the rest of their site. But it is important to note that technically any uses allowed in the warehouse zoning district per our code would also be permitted. So, based on the existing use and the city's failure to formally rezone the property when it was originally requested in 2007, and in addition to the surrounding properties and future land use plan, staff is supportive of this request and initiated this request on behalf of the property owner. And we are recommending that the Planning and Zoning Commission vote to recommend approval.
Questions of staff?
And we do have a public hearing on this item as well. So if we
public
want to
hearing
go
on this
ahead
one
and
as well?
open that public hearing, and then I'll come back for
Okay,
questions.
so we open a public hearing on this item, number 4. Anyone coming forth to make a comment? Public hearing closed. Have a motion?
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, motion made by Commissioner Caliphate, second by Commissioner Serrato. Have a vote here. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Carrie?
Thank you.
Item 5, consider approval of a conditional use permit regarding building elevations for project A Little Shady in accordance with Section 53-892, Districts and Boundaries, subsections A5, the FM 1626 Conditional Use Overlay District for property located at 5172 South FM 1626, Conditional Use Permit 25-0126. Presenter, Mr. Lutz.
Thank you, Commissioners. Good evening. Before you is a simple CUP. This is one of our overlay districts. This is going to be our FM 1626 overlay. You can see here, this is the site highlighted in blue. This is an internal street off of Marketplace, but it does have access off of that street. The applicant's looking at developing a new restaurant and tavern in the Kyle Marketplace District. It's about a 1.29 acre site. The building's roughly 5,600 square feet. There's an exterior restroom facility outside in the kind of courtyard. It's another 977 square feet. And then the outdoor area is a covered patio, approximately 4,000 additional square feet. The outdoor patio space is planned to have ambient music and will abide by City of Kyle noise ordinances. I do need to work with the applicant, a little more detail on that. If they plan on having live music, that would require another CUP, so you may see them back. But if it's just external music, that shouldn't be an issue. Looking at the site plan, there's no overlay standards in this overlay district. If you recall, I-35 has a very set specific criteria. This district is silent, so we do want to look for the same purview. We're looking for access, for safety, looking at the building and the materials. When we looked at the zoning, it is retail services, so we reviewed this plan according to that. We have met all the development standards. Looking at parking, they're required 56. They are providing 62. When we're looking at building materials, it's basically hardy board, Texas brown flagstone. There's an Adobe style heavy plaster, and then CMU block painted high gloss. And I'll go through some of the building elevations and renderings. Photometric plan was reviewed. It's approved, zero light trespass at the property line. Landscaping plan was reviewed and approved. They're providing about 1,000 more square feet of required landscaping. About 10% more in the front yard than what's actually required, several more trees, and then shrubs. So you can see they kind of blew the regulations out of the water, so really appreciative of that. So this is the elevations of the building. Sorry, they are in black and white, but I do have a color rendering I can show you just to kind of see there's building materials in there. They're about 20 to 30%, kind of give or take aside for each type of material. Again, we don't have any minimums in this district. Here's the west elevations, east elevations, fireplace. This is the dumpster enclosure. And then these are the color renderings of what this will look like. So this is the overall site plan. You can see access points, all their parking, trash dumpsters. This is the landscape plan showing all of the street trees out around the sidewalks, the right-of-ways, and then all the shrubberies. They have one parking space within every tree, so and then the photometric sheet. So your options tonight are approve as presented, approve with modifications, or deny. Staff found this to be compliant, so we're going to recommend approval. I can answer any questions you have, and I believe the applicant's here as well if you need further information.
Questions for staff?
Less a question, more a comment, noting that you said there's still negotiation going on regarding live music versus not live music. There could be some room for discussion with interfacing with the Arts and Culture Commission of Kyle and see if there's a way we can collaborate and bring in more cross-breeding of activities within the city.
Yeah, so you will notice there's also, the site's also adjacent to a small park area, open space. They've got a amphitheater there, I believe, small one. So I think there's an opportunity for them to incorporate some live music. Just kind of letting you guys as a note, it's just a general statement. If they plan to have bands there on a regular basis, then we would come back with a different set of CUP. We would consider hours of operation and things of that nature, but this isn't generally next to a heavy residential area. So, but again, we can have those conversations in the future.
Thank you.
Is this applicant related to Shady Grove by chance in Austin?
Yes, this is their Kyle dip in. So
Spinoff?
Yep.
That's very exciting. As an Austin native, I loved going to Shady Grove, so I'm excited to see a little Shady hopefully be built here in Kyle.
Other questions?
I make a motion to approve as presented.
Okay, motion by Commissioner Webb, second by Commissioner Serrato. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Passed unanimously.
Thank you, commissioners.
Now we've reached the end of our business here on the formal agenda, and at this time we are adjourned.